me cannot get into grown ass men playing video games. I'm going to be very honest with y'all. I am 40 years old. I have a lot of friends. I've got fraternity brothers. I've got friends who are doctors, lawyers, dentists. I've got friends who are dope boys. I got all types of friends, and none of them play PlayStation. It's just something about me and a woman that go with a man that play PlayStation. You deserve kitty games, kitty attitudes, and all the kitty shit that he puts you through. And I know it's a lot of hit holes on this thing right now. It would be the biggest turnoff to me if I was on the phone with my man. I say, babe, what you doing? And this nigga say, I'm on my way to GameStop to pick up the latest Madden. He could never call me again.
All right, it's Antoine Williams. This is the E-Nation YouTube channel. Today's the 15th of August, 2024, and I guess we'll just get right into it. Usually before I make these videos, I watch the video I'm going to comment on before I start up, and this one's just, it aggravates me, so it kind of messes my mind up a little bit. I should have gave myself another second, because, yeah, so this guy's saying that, grown men shouldn't play video games, grown men don't play video games, and he goes in and starts roasting them, saying all these things about how they, if you're a girl, a woman, to expect kiddie games and all this, and obviously, I find that to be ridiculous. I play video games all the time. I think it's a fun hobby. My biggest takeaway from this video, like first thing I was thinking in defense of it is like, I guess my overall topic would just be because it's that video games are just like any other hobby. And growing up, especially in like, because I'm 31, so I grew up in the 90s. And if you just go back to then, you'd have to look it up, or you could just ask people who were around then if you weren't around, or you can just look back if you were around then, and just think about it. Video games have been demonized for a long time. Like people act like which I believe is completely untrue. People act like video games are like the people, especially back then. People acted like video games were the cause of all the world's problems. Oh, there's all these shooters and all this stuff because of people playing because of video games. Like video games inspires violence. Just that. I know that's not what he was talking about, but it's just an example of how video games have always been like targeted. It's like this big problem. People who play video games are weird. People who play video games are this or that. And I just think that it's just like any other hobby. And the majority of the people, the big like contradiction that I see with people growing up is that the same people who complain about people who play video games all the time will sit there and watch TV all day. Sit there and watch, like they'll watch movies all day. It's like it's the same thing. And I don't usually jump right in the comments, but while I was watching the video, I saw one that pretty much perfectly encapsulated this. He said, "Video games is nothing more than interactive media consumption. If you have a favorite TV show, watch sports, or watch videos on social media, then you're no better than a gamer. Sure, if you play them all day if you play them all day and aren't productive, then it's concerning. However, the same can be said about everything else." That's pretty much the best reasonable description of someone playing video games. If you play them all the time and you're not productive in life, you're not, you don't work a job, you don't do anything. Yeah, it's concerning. But it's also concerning if you drink all day and you don't, work a job or like take care of yourself, or you don't take care of your basic duties, or if you have children or a girlfriend, or you don't take care of those duties. Like if you smoke weed all day and you don't do that, if you play guitar all day and you don't do that, it's the same thing. Like it's not specific to video games. And for this guy to say, I'm not gonna be friends with anybody who plays video games, it's not a reasonable thing to say. And his own logic, like it's like he has a special bias against people who play video games, because he wouldn't, well, I haven't had a conversation with him, but like, I guess if he takes this logic and applies it to anything, I wouldn't be friends with someone who spends all their time, playing guitar. I wouldn't be friends with someone who spends all their time reading books. If he would take that logic and apply, I wouldn't spend all my time with someone who watches TV and movies all day, which is what a lot of people do. Like I've noticed in my life, at least with normal people, like with the common person, I noticed that a lot of them, if they're not at work, they're watching TV, they're watching movies. Like that's the main thing a lot of people do. And honestly, I don't really care what people do with their time. It's their life. I don't really care. But if this guy's going to have this standard, I would just prefer if he had a standard across the board, instead of just attacking a group that's been beaten to death. You know what I mean? That's been beaten to death. That's like have been under the most scrutiny for the longest time. It's like give it a rest. It's almost a cliche to say that there's issues with people who play games. Like yeah, there is a section of people who play games who don't have social lives, who don't do anything outside of games, but the majority of people who play games are normal people. They do it for fun, just like they read a book, or just like how people read a book, or they watch TV. Like so, this guy's argument is just annoying. I expected more people to agree with him, but to my surprise, yeah, the common man. It's kind of funny because a lot of people actually are. I don't know if like the page that he said this on was the wrong page. Like the page that posted this, maybe they just don't. Maybe like their audience is more lean toward like me, but everyone in there is just saying the same thing. They're saying, how could he say he got friends who are dope boys? Look, if you a dope boy and you 40 and you still on the block, dot dot dot. So it's kind of like no. Then someone said, well, this is why you shouldn't look for a relationship and let the right one come to you. Me and my wife, I'm 37 and she's 32, are like 95% the same. We just got back from GameStop in the mall to pre-order Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero for PlayStation 5. After that, we bought a booster box of Pokemon cards, then came home, unboxed them together, and she pulled a alternate art Squirtle. Been married for 7 years. Also, she bought me a PlayStation Portal. I think he meant portable for Father's Day. Yeah, that's another thing. I think that actually brought up a point that I just thought of. Like, the thing is, in the 90s, like back in the day, video games were more new, and it was very like niche. As time goes on, like people who were in the 90s who were kids, they've grown up playing video games. So now there's adults playing video games, where before adults would be like, oh, that's a kid thing, because they don't see kids doing it. Now there's games that adults play. Games that are rated M are like, a lot of them are very challenging. They're too challenging for someone who's freaking 13, 15. Like they're for adults. And then even games that were once simple have been made more complex. And so it doesn't make sense to think that only kids are going to be playing this stuff. It's not reasonable to think, oh, adults can't play this stuff. It's for kids. A lot of these games are made for an adult audience, and they're more challenging and have adult themes. And this guy is just encapsulated that there's nothing wrong with that. Him and his wife play video games. They could still raise kids, live life, do whatever else they want. And that was another thing I was going to say. Like, I got my PS3 in here. I modded it. I have a lot of old PS3 games, and I'll play games I played back in the day, or games that I couldn't play back in the day because I was 13, and now I'm an adult. I can play them and enjoy and actually understand what I'm playing instead of just playing it and sucking at it because I'm not old enough to be able to fully comprehend what I'm doing. I also have a Steam Deck, and I play a lot of old school Game Boy games. But what they like, there's a game franchise called Fire Emblem, and it's a strategy one where you have to go through the map and fight and move your units kind of like a chessboard. But people have modded it. People have create their own content, and they'll mod their own characters, their own stories, and all patch the game to play their stories. And that's very interesting because you'll have somebody who sat there for 15 years or for 5 years making a mod for the game, and it's a whole new story, all new characters, a whole new mechanics, all this stuff. And I don't even like the newer Fire Emblem that comes out, but these old patches are very enjoyable. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. I guess my main thing. Oh, and my point was, I have all these games, but I still work a job. I still go to the gym. I've done I got this shirt from when I played on it was in a pickup basketball league. It was a pickup game that they did, and my team won, so we got shirts for it. Then I did the actual league, and I did 2 seasons of that. That was basketball. I'm not good at basketball, but I did it because it's exercise. You meet people. It's fun, and I improved through it. I did a football league. I've done a dodgeball league. I've done a kickball league, and I was in an MMA. I did a kickboxing, Muay Thai gym. I went there for 2 years, and now I have one in my apartment that I'm building, so I can still practice the punches and everything. I got a guitar back there. I read books. I play board games. Just because you play video games doesn't mean you have no life. You don't hang out you can be that type of person who all you do is play video games. You don't do anything else. You don't think about anything else. You don't build your social skills. You don't get out of the house and stuff. But the majority of people who play video games aren't like that. The majority are normal people who have normal lives who just happen to play video games sometimes. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So this guy was tripping. Yeah, I guess this is a topic that it's just kind of cut and dry. Doesn't really come to a lot to talk about. I mean, I would love to have a conversation with this guy. I don't even know who he is though. I just randomly just another short I came across. But I'd love to have a conversation with him and just maybe hear more of his perspective on why he thinks that. But it's just it's a simple topic. I just definitely don't agree with him. There's not much to say about it. But yeah, not much going on over here. Just a random Thursday. Yeah, I'm gonna play some video games some point today. Then I'm gonna go out to some parties, and then I'm gonna go to the mall, and then I'm gonna go out and live a normal life. So it was fun. I'll see you guys in the next one.